Hello, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today in this video. I hope you are having a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Today, we're going to be breaking down Meghan Markle's Instagram video announcing, as ever, the new brand. And we're going to be taking a deep sea dive into what Meghan actually said. Because she said a lot of things and it was like she needed a translator. So we are breaking this down today like we're Google Translate. Let's get into it.
It's recording.
Okay. Coming out of the gate, this opening shot is telling us that she keeps up with what is said about her online. Harry hands this phone to her, and conveniently the phone pans to a beagle that's behind them. And a couple of things are needing our attention right off the bat in this first scene. Number one, attention on their relationship and their interaction. And number two, it's screaming, "Please notice this dog." And if you didn't notice the dog behind her, then she actually turns to look at the dog so that you also will take note of the dog. So did you see the dog? Please see the dog. Did you see the dog? The dog is here. So this opening shot is really unnecessary because the rest of this Instagram video is going to be shot by Meghan. So her holding the camera in front of herself. And think about if you were going to record yourself. You wouldn't need a shot of someone handing you your camera for you to film yourself. And if you look at this whole setup here, it's like she said, "Hey, Harry, can you," or H, "Hey, H, can you go get my camera for me?" And he says, "Sure, no problem." She's like, "I'm going to make an Instagram video right out here outside." And he says, "Yeah." And he brings her the camera. And as he's walking the camera to her, he turns it on. And instead of just handing her the camera, he says, "Here, it's filming," like it's already recording. "Oh my gosh, I didn't know we were filming. We're filming?" She's like, "Oh, what? Are you okay?" Basically, this opening shot is completely unnecessary. It's very staged, but it's to accomplish a few things. Number one, Meghan, she's breezy. She's easygoing. It's pretty much the opposite of what is depicted about her online, where she is a dictator on high heels. I think that was the quote. Or she's a bully. You know, here she is, oh, so caught unaware, just laughing in her backyard, and Harry comes up to her and he's like, "Hey, we're filming. Oh my gosh." And to go with that, it's also to say, hey, our relationship is really good. Harry's here, he's involved, and as you can see the interaction that's happening between the two of them, it's really pleasant, it's really happy, they're laughing, they're just in a really relaxed place in their life. And it kind of reminds me of middle school when you see your crush coming and you tell your friends, "Hey, everyone pretend like I just said something really funny," and start laughing. And then your crush walks by and you're hoping that he's going to be drawn into what's this excitement over here. And of course, it's all about you because you're so funny. You know, you've just made everyone laugh. And I'm getting that vibe here. It's kind of like this, like pretend like there's this funny moment going on between the two of them that they're going to show us a piece of, but that we don't really understand what's going on or why she would be laughing that it's starting to film or it's recording now. But she wants us to be drawn into her. And this beagle that's in the background. The inclusion of this moment with the dog in the background, which who knows how long they had to wait for that to be perfect, where the dog was right behind her so that she could look like it's just this coincidence that she's looking back at the dog right in her shot. But this dog is here because she released an Instagram Valentine's video with her and her kids making strawberry goodies in the kitchen. And people pointed out that there was a beagle that was featured in the corner of her video. And it was confusing because Meghan had stated back in January of this year that her dog had died. And I don't want to take away from how horrible it is when an animal passes away, especially a pet that we have loved forever. And that's a horrible feeling. But when this dog appeared in the Valentine video, a lot of people assumed, because of the lack of transparency in the past with Meghan and narratives, that either one of two things had happened. Either the dog hadn't passed away, or that Meghan had filmed this Valentine content months and months previously. So it turns out there are two dogs, there are two beagles, and this is their way of saying that. And this scene is her drawing your attention to that, just to kind of go like, boom, see, I have two beagles. Here's to all the haters. This opening scene is to say, hey, the relationship is good and we have two dogs. That's the whole purpose of this moment. This entire scene is to tell us and show us something else, which already right off the bat is leading to inauthenticity.
Cat's out of the bag. I'm shocked we've kept this a secret for so long. In 2 weeks,
So now we've switched to the perspective of the camera being held by Meghan, and it will remain this perspective for the rest of the video. So Harry's job is done. He had one job. His job was to be a prop at the beginning here to show that everything is great and that their relationship is fantastic. And now he is done. It kind of reminds me of that video that she made, and I think it was the 40 by 40 video, and Harry appears in the window behind her juggling. Here he is, he's always popping up just to serve a purpose in these videos that don't really have anything to do with what he's doing, and then the video continues on without him, and it makes me feel at least like he's really an accessory. So Meghan's going for a natural look. It's casual, it's impromptu, it's I just grabbed this camera and cat's out of the bag. And there's something about starting in that way that works against the impromptu nature that she's trying to depict. She probably thought for a really long time what was this catchy way that she was going to start her video, besides Harry and the middle school giggles. Cat's out of the bag. I'm shocked we've kept this a secret for so long. I feel like I'm watching the beginning of a product placement commercial, which basically we are. Psst, cat's out of the bag. Dish soap companies have been lying to us. Markle Sparkle? Now this is real power. You know?
Cat's out of the bag. I'm shocked we've kept this a secret for so long. In 2 weeks, my show is coming out, which I'm so excited for. And also my business, which I think there's been a lot of curiosity about.
This part's screaming disconnected. Let's take a look at her choice word. And her choice word is curiosity. And then she laughs. People are curious about her business. And it's funny. And it's really to give us the impression that the reactions to her business are just rolling off her back. They're funny. It's almost like the curiosity is astounding. And she's both surprised by the attention and she finds it humorous. She is wanting us to know that she is absolutely unbothered by the feedback that she's been getting about her business. And not only is she unbothered by it, but she's looking at it in a positive way of people have so much curiosity about me. But the way that she says all of this tells us that she's aware that she's talking about negative feedback. She might be using the word curiosity, but she's really responding more to the word backlash. And she wants us to know that it does not bother her. She's trying really hard to give the impression that nothing gets to her. However, the fact that she's even bringing this up and feeling the need to laugh lets us know that it does.
My business, which I think there's been a lot of curiosity about. Last year, I had thought, you know what, American Riviera, that sounds like such a great name. It's my neighborhood. It's a nickname for Santa Barbara. But it limited me to things that were just manufactured and grown in this area.
Meghan, just say that you're not using American Riviera Orchard anymore because your trademark didn't go through. It's okay. We all have access to seeing the official documents online, and this would have been the easiest place to just be honest. It's got to be exhausting in her head. Also, I don't think that anyone expected or believed that the products that she was going to be making or manufacturing would be done in her own backyard by her own hands or even in the city of Santa Barbara. This part's to let us know that if we had any ideas in our head that she was going to be in her kitchen all day long mashing fruit from her garden that she had just handpicked in order to get her jars of jam together like it's some kind of farmer's market for Meghan Markle so that you could have a piece of the American Riviera orchard when, as far as I know, she does not have an orchard, that you are mistaken. These products are going to be mass produced and come from China as ever. And her jams are probably going to be white labeled from the same mass-produced jam factory that brings you the $3 jam from the grocery store. It's more likely that what was limiting her was the fact that she didn't get her trademark. She wants us to believe her narrative, and her narrative usually goes against facts.
And grown in this area. Then Netflix came on not just as my partner in the show, but as my partner in my business, which was huge.
This part's hard to watch. So Netflix is now her partner, not only in her show, but in her business. Can we say that in this way, Netflix is in partnership with every show that they put on their platform? The way that she's saying it gives the feeling that she wants us to believe that she's different from every other show that's been platformed by Netflix and every other person that Netflix has worked with. She's special. Netflix has who knows how many shows, but with hers, they wanted her to be their partner. And not only the partner in her show, but in her whole business. And she reacts at this point in the video with this like faux scripted, humble surprise at the notion that she's so special that Netflix has singled her out for this partnership. She's not just a cog in the wheel at Netflix. She's different. She's been selected as something that Netflix has recognized is above everyone else. It's way more likely that what Netflix wants to do is try to take an opportunity to take a percentage of her sales from her tangible goods and put themselves in a position where they can benefit from that. That is different than someone being in a partnership with you, though. And her reaction to this, for our sake, it's hard to believe.
On not just as my partner in the show, but as my partner in my business, which was huge. So I thought about it.
So the way that she just said that she thought about it was done in a really crafty way, because she says that statement right after she talks about Netflix wanting to partner with her as her business partner. And the way that she puts that right there makes it seem like she had to think about this request that came from Netflix. Like Netflix called her up and they were like, hey, Meghan, we want to hand select you above all else to partner with. And she was like, you know what? Let me think about that. I'll call you back later. Just hung up the phone nonchalant, like she does. And it's really to give us the impression that she's the one in control. She's the desirable one. She keeps Netflix waiting. That's probably a really important thing for her to feel like she needs to say right now, because a lot of the press around her at this point is that she is not the desirable show at Netflix. But this is her way of taking that narrative back. And the thing is, her saying, and I thought about it, really goes with the next section. And it's about this next thing that I haven't played yet. However, the way that she puts it makes it very interesting, because it does sound like it's about Netflix.
Which was huge. So I thought about it. And I've been waiting for a moment to share a name that I had secured in 2022. And this is the moment.
I'm picking up on a little bit of anger here. I secured this back in 2022, so boom. So obviously this part has bothered her, that there's been a lot of conversations about some of her branding mishaps. And the problem with this story is that it does not make sense. She came out with American Riviera Orchard in 2024. If she had secured As Ever as her brand in 2022, then there would be no need to create American Riviera Orchard in 2024. So what is the purpose of American Riviera Orchard? There's always a hole in the story, and something big is missing that doesn't make sense when she explains things. And if Netflix is your business partner, they're not just your platform. They're not just your merchandise distributor. If they're your partner, then this makes Netflix look really bad. What the heck have they been doing in this mess? So it's understandable if someone doesn't have a lot of experience in business, but this sounds like, if you're Netflix, that this kind of decision making doesn't match the corporate polished level that you're operating on. There are so many things that don't make sense about this story.
And this is the moment. And it's called As Ever. As Ever essentially means as it's always been. And if you followed me since 2014 with the TIG, you know I've always loved cooking and crafting and gardening. This is what I do.
So this is just a direct response to all the backlash of the Netflix trailer for With Love, Meghan, and all the comments that she's been getting from professionals in food industries saying that she doesn't look authentic in the kitchen, she doesn't know what she's doing. She's letting us know that that's all wrong. She's been doing this for over 10 years now, and that this is who she has always depicted herself to be. So she's just going back to her roots, and everything that professionals are bringing up in these areas, it doesn't really apply, because this is who she's always been.
This is what I do, and I haven't been able to share it with you in the same way for the past few years, but now I can.
So pretty sure this is a dig at the royal family, and it would be good if she wanted to do these things, if she would think through what she's saying. It's almost like sometimes she needs to take a dig at someone so badly that she doesn't think it all the way through. And she's saying in this video that she hasn't been able to share this real, true side of herself, this authentic cooking, entertaining, party, calligraphy stationary Meghan for the past few years, but now she can. And from comments that she's made in the past about how stifled she felt in the royal family and how she couldn't be who she really was, I'm pretty sure this comment is for them. But what was stopping her from being able to share herself 5 years ago in 2020 when she left the royal family, or in 2021 or 2022 and so on? Because she's referencing that she hasn't been able to share herself for the last few years, but now she can. And the way that that's worded is an external force. There's usually something in Meghan's communication style that refers to some outside source that's always holding her back or holding her down. And if she's gonna say something like this in a video, that there was some reason why she couldn't share herself in the last few years, but now she can, it would be nice to know why. Because you're saying something that your audience can't follow along with. And if you're not going to share what that is, then it would be better to not share it at all. But she's always doing these things where she's dropping something. Like, I don't want to go back to the Oprah thing, but in the Oprah interview, dropping the stuff about the royal family and wanting to do it in a way that drops some information that becomes inflammatory and problematic, but she's not willing to be transparent about it. So she's just dropping things to stir the pot. Because if you were being really straightforward about something that had happened to you and you wanted to bring it up, then you would just say it. But the way she does it is she wants to put something out there that is going to cause some friction, but she doesn't want to tell you what it is. And a lot of times we're left to ask, is it even real? Is it even something? Because in the past, when she's done this, a lot of times it's led to a plethora of other information out there that does not match what she's trying to say. I think her real point here was she just wanted to take a dig at the royal family, and that's what this was about.
The past few years, but now I can. So as things are starting to trickle out there, I wanted you to hear it from me first. Of course, there will be fruit preserves. I think we're all clear at this point that jam is my jam. But there's so many more products that I just love that I use in my home. And now it's time to share it with you. So I can't wait for you to see it. Thanks, guys.
I think we're just going to get more of this kind of content from her. She's constantly trying to paint a narrative that goes against facts, that goes against what we can all see. And this is a massive problem for her. It's a massive problem for her on a personal level, on a relatability level, on a branding level, on a business level, on her show level. She is not going to get away from this. She's going to have to address this. So anyways, that's my opinion on this video. What did you guys see? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye.